Hello everybody, welcome back to Zero Tolerance TV. ZT here again. Game 5? Yeah, game 5. This is going to be a TVT now. We got Goodfriend who just beat Nara with pretty strong 2-base timing attack there, and then there's Goodfriend, and his opponent is going to be Sync. So should be good. This series here tied at 2-2. So this is basically just down to a best of 3 between these two teams. Yeah, I don't really have much to say at the moment. Definitely gonna have to pay attention to see which Terran is which. I didn't check before. Okay, press escape, please. Tell me which. Okay. Looks like, yeah, Sync. Okay, KT, Goodfriend. No, sorry. Sync is KT's player. So Sync is white and Goodfriend is gonna be teal. I'm pretty sure. If that's correct, I'll be sad. Or if that's incorrect, I'll be sad. Is what it is. I saw that the white player was indeed KT, and I'm pretty sure Brad. Yeah. It's kind of tough now that it's tied again. Hold on. Which is which? Thought that was gonna be gas for a moment. Like, hold on, you're taking gas at 8? What? And there's the depot. So it's not like a barracks depot shenanigans. Yeah, another player is sending their SCV out. Looks like this is a 2-player map though. I'm not sure. I guess it could be 4-player. I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's 2-player. But I don't know. I didn't look at what the map was called again. Maybe it would have been worth like writing down on the map names, but also like whatever. Alright, barracks started for both players. Same builds at this point, neither in gas quite yet. So, no super quick tech. There's the refinery started for Goodfriend. Not sure if Sync has... Yeah, Sync has also started his refinery, so again, just still mirrored builds. And this is a 4-player map, as Goodfriend is checking up in the top left base. So, yeah, still just not much to say, really. Interesting depot placement. I wonder if this is like to straighten out the pathing of the SCVs. Could also just be it's just the fastest place to build your depot, and he wants to have as much uptime on his SCVs as possible. Although it is going to be a bit annoying, just that depot pushing the SCVs that are spawning from the command center into the refinery's path, basically. So you have to be careful to not pull SCVs off gas. First Marine out here going to push Goodfriend's SCV away. Factory started for Goodfriend, but pretty expected, I have to think. And there's the factory for Sync as well. So remains mirrored builds. Yeah, I mean, lifting the barracks off makes sense, especially if he wants to leave his base with an SCV to scout or something like that, but really the barracks is not going to produce units this game. And actually, has Sync even scouted yet? Yeah, he has. I mean, somebody went to the bottom right with their SCV, and I don't think it was Goodfriend. Unless he double scouted? He could have done like the end scout or whatever it's called. Whatever you want to call it. Okay, Stargate for Sync. I haven't seen anything like that for Goodfriend yet. He is building a machine shop. Okay. So this is the first divergence. What is this Stargate plant? Is this going to be like 2-port Wraith or something? Oh, an armory. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Like, if it were just the armory, it's okay, maybe, like, upgrades. Obviously, Upgrades are really good for your siege tanks, but what? You're not building Valkyries, right? Like, what would you even be shooting at? Like, against Zerg, okay, you go Valkyries to just kill mutas, fair. But oh, actually, Goodfriend does have a Stargate. He's got an armory too already. It just seems really early for an armory. I'm not sure what. Maybe he's gonna build Goliaths. That's actually the plan. Is like he's gonna drop Goliaths or something. Yeah, I don't know, man. Vulture, still no speed. Yeah, I didn't see a machine shot from Sync, so just checking out the front. Stargate's here. Okay. Is this for drops? Is he gonna build the control tower? Oh, and it is Goliaths. All right. I mean, against Wraiths, Goliaths seem like basically the best thing you could be doing. So I'm a little worried for Goodfriend at this point. He's building a command center, so not going all in on this. It didn't look like it was 2-port Wraith or anything like that. Actually, the barracks is going to scout it too, so Sync has great info and is building a control tower. So this is going to be like a Goliath drop, I guess? That sounds kind of cool. Definitely just not going to take damage from these Wraiths. That one already about half dead. It does not take very many Goliath volleys to kill a Wraith. But Cat's basically out of the bag. Both these players are pretty aware of what their opponent's doing. I like landing the barracks there. It's just not going to do anything else right now. You know, later on you could scout with it. Okay, but it is going to get scouted by the single Wraith that was made. So barracks will eventually be whittled down. Not really a big loss, though. You're just not that upset about it. SCV? No, that's got to be Goodfriend's SCV. Unless, yeah, okay. He was trying to send an SCV out, but the barracks is blocking. For a second, I thought Sync like glitched an SCV through alone. I was like, did he use the barracks to get vision of the mineral patch or something, and then like hold position in a different SCV? No, it's just Goodfriend's SCV, which makes way more sense. Actually, the barracks is going to be denying the command center landing a little bit. Wraiths obviously are not very high DPS units against ground, and barracks lifts off though because the siege tanks were now in range, actually delaying it. I'm not sure. It seems like he should be able to land that command center, but this is annoying. Here's the drop here. Probably gonna force a lift off. I don't think you can keep that out there. Yeah, I mean, look how quickly those 4 Goliaths are killing the command center, actually. So, you know, not like crazy damage dealt, but definitely annoying for Goodfriend. Also just investing into Wraith and getting basically nothing out of it. Now, he does have the Stargate, so it looks like he's going to make probably a dropship or 2 out of there. Makes sense. Sync starting his command center, so definitely behind on the natural timing, but he has delayed Goodfriend enough that it's really not going to be a big difference. You know, those 3 tanks are a little vulnerable up there. He could just drop Goliaths on them. And with 2 dropships now, he's definitely got enough Goliaths to drop to take those 3 tanks out if Goodfriend isn't careful. Honestly, that might just basically end the game. Like, it would be so hard for Goodfriend to actually get his base up from a position like that. Actually finishing the base, pretty tough. And then at some point, you know, he's just going to catch up in economy. And here it is, just a drop on top of these units here. 1 siege tank down already. 2 siege tanks down, but oh my god, everything gets cleaned up actually. So Sync definitely losing a lot in that attack. That said, his command center is about done here. So as far as economy is concerned, he shouldn't be in a bad position. That Wraith is coming back. Can't see him getting stealth, but I mean, maybe, I guess. Thing is, like, the concedes done, so what would be the point? Goodfriend making his 3rd. Actually, this Wraith not gonna get any kills, I would think, just given how little damage Wraiths have, but is gonna get a pretty excellent scout off. Sees exactly what Sync is doing. So this Wraith, you know, maybe not totally paying for itself. Could have just been scanning for his scout, but at least it's doing something. And I mean, when you build one Wraith, that's probably all you're really expecting to get, so fair enough. They are very fast. That is what's nice about them, and, you know, great for denying drops. That will not change. So there's a lot of Goliaths, it looks like. Some siege tanks, but I haven't seen a Vulture from Sync yet. I know this is a thing, like, against Zerg, where you just go Goliaths and then tanks, but seems like against Terran you probably want your siege, or your spider mines and stuff like that, Vulture speed. I mean, Vulture's just so good. Very fast unit. It's interesting how fast Terran units are. And they don't even paint their shit red, you know? I mean, if it were painted red, then fair enough, but... This is like a white and a green. So fast, though. Looks like Sync has gone into Vultures here. Not really sure what this Goliath opening was supposed to really accomplish. Like, it's gonna be good against air units. You know, you're gonna want some if your opponent... You know, it did repel the Wraiths, so we'll give it credit for that. Actually, Goodfriend is also making Goliaths. I just assumed those were all Syncs, so... Not for any good reason. You definitely do want them in the matchup. I'm just a little confused why it was such a rush to Goliath. So he did end up delaying his command center quite a bit for it. We got some dropships made for Goodfriend. And Sync is actually taking a ninja expansion down the bottom right. Unbeknownst to him, that's also where Goodfriend is expanding. So that might be a bit of an issue at some point. I'm not sure how defendable that's going to be for Sync. But if it doesn't get scouted, I mean, Goodfriend might just not realize it's there. And at that point, obviously, ninja expansions can absolutely win games. Just like, you think you know what's going on, and then your opponent just has like 6 extra tanks at some point. You're like, hold on, what the fuck? Why do you have so much extra units? How is this possible? But also, like, this can happen, and these dropships can just scout it accidentally. Nope, maybe not. He's not going far enough south to actually scout the base. No, he will not. Actually just drifts right past it. So, still hidden. Finds the minerals there, and nope. Yeah, okay. So the, oh, cancel it! Wait, hold on. Whose base is that? Oh, those are Sync's Vultures. Okay. Looks like Goodfriend did scout it with these dropships, though, so he's coming back to kill this base off. Gets the lift, so maybe he can save it. The problem being that the Goliaths are just going to shoot it down. So Sync in a pretty bad spot here. Yeah, I mean, this is the risk, isn't it? Sometimes you lose your command center totally for free, and you're really sad. And the spider mines do nothing. They just get shot down. The SUV dies as well. Okay, so a bunch of minerals down the drain. Nothing to gain for it. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. When you try to ninja expand, sometimes you just look like a fool. And yeah, this is one of those moments. Loading back into the dropships. Goodfriend is gonna probably, I don't know, man. I feel like he should just take his advantage and, you know, like, win ahead, get more ahead. The old adage. I feel like he's at the point right now where Sync is so far behind economically. Goodfriend doesn't need to try to get damage done. Like, his drop already paid for itself. But here we go into the main. A lot of siege tanks here ready to shoot down these units when they start dropping out. But looks like there's a decent spot up at the top of the base. Never mind, he's just going to go right through. Just wanted to put some damage on his drops. Is he actually going to scout the base again? That would be hilarious if he just scouts Sync's other, basically, ninja expansion. It's like, bro, just expand. Just do it normally. Actually, this drop is getting caught here by these vultures. Both the siege tanks dead. Like, Goliaths fight pretty well against vultures, but that spider mine fights pretty well against Goliaths. So yeah, it ends up being a bad drop. Basically just scouted the main out and then lost a bunch of units for some vultures. Not ideal. That said, in the meantime, Goodfriend has landed this command center, and there's no vultures up in the top of the map for Sync, so I don't think he's going to be able to actually deny that base. He can lift it off, he can force a lift, and that's nice, but won't actually kill it like Goodfriend was able to do to him. That was a great catch, though, for Sync. I mean, that's part of why I didn't think Goodfriend should be dropping like that, because really what he's done is just give Sync a way back into this game. Losing a bunch of army there. Sync now pushing forward with his siege tanks, so depending on how this engagement goes, it could be really bad. Actually, Goodfriend moving in on Sync's siege tanks here. Kills 2 of them, but they were also shelling that whole time. And I don't think he can push into that many tanks there, but maybe another couple tanks he can pick off at the edge. Goliath's coming in to try to fight them, but I don't think that's going to be a great engagement. Actually ends up working out pretty well for Goodfriend, so not too bad there. Sync definitely lost more tanks, I would think, but didn't lose any Goliaths or anything like that. Whose command center? Did Sync try to build another command center down there? Bro, just expand like a normal person, please. If he just put his expansion at one of his actual, like, natural third locations, he'd probably be in a much better position right now. But Goodfriend here pushing in. It's just tanks. Should be able to overwhelm this position. And yeah, he's just got a huge tank advantage. I think Sync probably ended up splitting his army too much. And when you do that, it just kind of looks like you don't have any army. Almost feels like your army's so much smaller when it's not together, especially for Terran. True for Protoss as well. Nice little pick for the mines there. That's the sort of stuff Sync needs, but those mines not going to get anything. And, you know, Sync's base is now mining pretty well up the northwest. Looks like barracks was remade, probably just so that Sync could keep making factories. I kind of doubt he's going to remake it again. But he might. I mean, you might just need more factories. Oh, this vulture's going to kill a tank! Yes, it does, and actually lives through it. That is not something you'll see very often. Vulture hunting down a tank. And not even just one tank, but like a group of tanks. Killing one and then living. It's pretty rare. And so Sync is actually going to be able to retain somewhat of a hold on the middle of the map here. 3 vultures going up to that northwest base, but Sync did have some units over there, so I don't think that's going to be able to deny much. I do think Sync needs to take out that top, the base that's quite close to his. He's got dropships. I don't believe he's lost them yet. So, really wouldn't be a huge commitment. Just get some siege tanks and vultures over there or something. But yeah, he has a decent defense here. It looked like 3 or 4 tanks. Problem is then that's obviously weakening your main army. And Sync is... he's trying for a base at the bottom. Okay, 4 dropships moving up. This looks like relatively well defended though. There's spider mines with turrets and tanks there, so it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy kill. Dropships actually will move away, and I like this. If the, yeah, I mean, you can definitely hit that mineral line with your siege tanks, so just putting them there is going to deny mining from that base pretty effectively. Makes it a pretty useless base. This turret, poor turret, all isolated. Actually, it lived? Question mark? Yeah, I don't know. Goodfriend, I guess he didn't care that much. Goodfriend instead chose to bring his vultures with him for this attack, and it's looking pretty big. We'll see what happens. Tanks are here, though. Looks like some tanks just popped. Yeah, you can't be dropping out of these, but maybe he'll lose one. Will the Goliath get a shot off? Nope, the Goliath cannot hit. Look at how low all of these dropships are. I hope you can see it. It's kind of tough to see, but somehow they all live and manage to drop here in this position. It looks like... Oh, okay, it's here. Yeah, probably what would, like, normally be the third. And this ninja base is scouted, so that's not good for Sync. This poor SCV is going to try to die a hero's death, which I suppose it might, but it won't matter. I guess that's not a hero's death then, that's just like a pointless, needless, sad death. Yeah. Take that how you will, I suppose. Poor SCV. He did build the command center though, so it wasn't like he died for nothing, I guess. So, you know what? It's a hero's death. Definitely not going to go well for Sync in this engagement, and yeah, his vultures just died. Okay, well there's like 3 Goliaths here now, so every single vulture in the world has to run. I guess they're actually not that bad against Goliaths. They're not that armored. It's funny watching vultures fight like tanks with armor upgrades. Take 2 damage. Haha. My grenade. Oh, you just did half my HP with 1 shot. Alright, well, you know. Actually, shelling the main of Sync from that, I guess what we'd call a normal third or something, that high ground base here. Pretty annoying. Man, who's gonna stop Goodfriend? That's the question. This guy's come in and just done some dirty, dirty damage. Poor Nalra. I wanted Nalra to win, but I'm biased as hell, so. I'm allowed. I admit it, okay? I don't pretend not to be. Actually getting a lot of damage done here with this drop. It's kind of funny. And a Wraith switch? Why? This is so unnecessary. It's like, so you're super far ahead in the game and you do something risky like a Wraith switch? That's such a weird call. I like Wraith switch when you've got like a drawn out, grindy TVT where you know, you've both set up like these big arcs with your tanks, and it's tough to move forward. That is not at all the situation we're in. We are in the situation where Goodfriend is just spewing a bunch of his units, though. Like a missile turret and a spider mine killed like half his stuff here. And this army is now cleaned up, so Sync should be able to retake that high ground base. Not sure it really matters. Goodfriend has just been so far ahead for so long. Just the tank disparity kind of just says it all. I think if Sync could like actually have grouped up all his tanks and force Goodfriend to attack into them, maybe he had a shot here, but I mean, it's just not how you play TVT, because you see the giant tank ball and then you go around it, right? So it's not really how it works, and Goodfriend has managed to maintain a pretty excellent tank count while resetting Sync, actually multiple times. So yeah, the race come in. Yeah, honestly, 2 tanks is like pretty whatever. Race switching is expensive as hell, so yeah, I'm not a fan of this play. I think Goodfriend really tried to lose a lot of his lead this game. If Sync had been able to jump on that, like, and take those opportunities, maybe he wins this. Obviously that drop was pretty bad early, but a couple things just not going Sync's way. And Goodfriend maneuvering his tanks around the map really well this game. Oh, and catching dropships now with units in them. Scan goes down, but doesn't really matter. He did end up cleaning up those tanks there, so Sync gonna fight on. It's just so tough for him to actually clean up the bulk of Goodfriend's army, which isn't even this. It's tough for him to kill just those tanks with the race there, but like Goodfriend has a ton more units, and they are actually pushing into the middle of the map right now. Look at all these vultures. So many vultures made. Probably just low on gas and wanted to keep producing. And I mean, look, vultures are shitty against tanks, but when you can surround 3 tanks with like 50 vultures, okay, maybe not 50, but like actually 20 vultures, it's still gonna be a good fight. You know, surprisingly, it's not even that good. Like, Sync is gonna kill all these units. Goodfriend's coming in now with his actual units that are good, these siege tanks. But yeah, considering how many vultures went in on that attack, it's actually pretty ineffective. Goodfriend, though, oh, man, he's just in such a dominant position. He's going to deny this base now that the tanks are fighting. Sync really just doesn't have anything going here. He's got this base, these bases on the bottom, I guess, so that's good, and he still has his production. So I guess it's too early to call it, obviously, but it's looking really bad. Oh, wow! Okay, that was a lot of siege tanks killed by, like, one mine. So Sync actually ends up cleaning that army up. Man, I wish I could see the supplies right now. I think Goodfriend is still ahead, but honestly, that was a pretty nice engagement for Sync. Yeah, that mine or something did crazy damage. Looked like it killed maybe like 4 tanks at once. Goodfriend, though, surrounding these tanks in the middle of the map. Pretty bad for Sync. Still have the Wraiths alive. Really haven't done much, though. Sync has basically just been making Goliaths this whole game. So, the Wraith switch, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna call that sus. That's like Goodfriend trying to throw. More than anything. What an interesting base. 3 mineral patches and a gas. And then this base is just like 15 mineral patches. I don't know. This is a weird map. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah. I'd like to see some more games on it. It's actually kind of turning into a bit of an epic TVT. Sync, I keep thinking he's dead, but then he just ends up clearing Goodfriend's army. Of course, then another army appears. But yeah, if Sync can crush an army, he can still come back. Like, TVT is a very turtleable matchup, so... Oh, wow, okay. Here, see, now, this is what a race switch is supposed to look like. I want to see 4 or 5 Stargates going up, get some cloak, come in with, at least, like, a full control group of Wraiths, totally out of the blue. That's what it's supposed to look like, so... I could actually see Sync's race switch being much more effective than Goodfriend's race here. Really, his race just didn't do much. Pretty disappointing unit there, but I mean, I haven't seen much anti-air here for Goodfriend, although I say that, and that army has like at least a full control group of Goliaths in it, so never mind. It's a Hail Mary, though. I think Sync is kind of aware how far behind he is, and oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be brutal. There are no units here to fight. Sync pulling his SCVs away, trying to save some of them, and yeah, maybe a couple get out. No, it looks like nothing will survive here. Well, I say that. So a couple SCVs did make it away. Vultures here rallied in from Sync, but not gonna matter. There's too many Vultures. Now this Goliath Vulture combo is definitely going to win against 3 Vultures. Okay, and there's the GG from Sync. Yeah, Goodfriend is just in too good a position here, so he's going to go up. He's going to bring... Pretty sure he's on Toona. Yeah, he just won 3 in a row for Toona. So Toona SG is now up against KT. Bracket did what he could, but Goodfriend is just doing more. Hopefully you tune in for Game 6, maybe the final. Maybe not. We'll see.